What if the plant you tear out of the crack by the back step every June, the one you have never once looked at properly, is worth more than everything you deliberately planted this year? 10 of these ordinary backyard weeds have a real market behind them. One of them sells for hundreds of dollars a pound, and one of them is the most famous money weed on the internet. Here is the truth most people never hear. A weed having a buyer somewhere does not make the one in your lawn worth anything. Most of them trade for $10 or $15 a pound dried, and that is a fair price. Nobody ever taught you to identify a plant before you pull it. Value does not live in the word weed. It lives in what the plant actually is. So identify it before you pull it. 10. Purslane. If you have a low mat of fat reddish stems spreading flat across the gravel by the drive, with small thick leaves shaped like little paddles, your first thought is probably that it is the most ordinary weed you own. It grows in cracks. It grows where nothing else will. It comes back a week after you pull it. That instinct makes sense. Snap one of the stems. Here is what nobody told you. That plant is a vegetable, and it has been one for a very long time. It is sold as verdolagas across Mexico. It has been eaten in Greece and Turkey and India for centuries, and it turns up at farmers markets here by the bunch. It also carries more omega-3 fatty acid than any leafy green sitting in your supermarket. I will be straight with you about the money. This one will not make you rich. It sells for a few dollars a bunch. But it is food, and you have been paying for salad while spraying this off the concrete. Here is your test tonight, and this one matters more than the money. There is a plant called prostrate spurge that grows in exactly the same cracks and looks close enough to fool people. Snap a stem and watch the break. Spurge bleeds a white, milky sap almost immediately. Purslane does not. The stem is smooth, fleshy, and wet, with no milk in it at all. Spurge is toxic, so if you see white, walk away. And the loss. Every June, somebody sprays a vegetable off their own driveway and then drives to a shop to buy one. Number 9. Stinging nettle. Along the back fence, near the compost heap where the ground is richest, there is a stand of it waist-high by May. It gets you on the wrist every time you reach past. You have hated that plant for years, and nobody would blame you for it. Fair enough. Look at the stem. Here is what the sting is hiding. Dried nettle leaf trades in the $10 to $20 a pound range, and spring nettle has genuine restaurant demand for soup and pasta in the few weeks it is young enough to bother with. It is iron-rich, and it has been a spring green in Britain and across Scandinavia for as long as anyone has records. And the sting does not survive cooking. 30 seconds in boiling water, and those hairs collapse completely. The plant that draws blood on your forearm in the garden is entirely harmless on the plate. There is something else it is telling you. Nettles grow where nitrogen is high. A thick stand of it is a soil report you did not pay for, and it is saying that the ground under it is good. Your test tonight, and wear a glove. Run a finger down the stem. Nettle stems are square in cross-section, the leaves come off in opposite pairs, and the stinging hairs are on the stem as well as the leaf. There is a lookalike called dead nettle that has the same leaf shape and does not sting at all, and it is not the same plant. And the loss. It gets trimmed flat in May, which is the exact fortnight it was worth picking. 8. Elderberry. Along the fence line, or in the scrubby corner where the mower does not reach, there is a fast-growing shrub with hollow stems that you cut back every year because it sprawls into everything. It looks like nothing. It looks like the definition of something you clear. That instinct makes sense. Look at it in June and again in August. In June, it throws wide, flat clusters of tiny cream flowers, and by late August, those turn into hanging bunches of small, dark purple berries. And there is a real market underneath that. Fresh elderberries sell by the pound at farm gate. Growers put them into syrup and wine, and the elderberry supplement trade behind them is genuinely large. Nurseries also sell named cultivars, which tells you the plant is worth propagating. Now, I have to be honest with you about something, because this one has a safety edge to it. The raw berries are not good to eat, and the leaves and stems and roots are worse. They contain compounds that will make you unwell, and people do get sick every year eating them straight off the bush. Cooking the ripe berries deals with it. That is why every traditional use is a syrup, a jam, or a wine, and never a handful. Your test tonight. Look for leaves that come off the stem in opposite pairs, each one made of several leaflets, and flower heads that are flat-topped rather than cone-shaped. Then snap a young stem and look for soft white pith in the middle. And the loss. It gets cut to the ground every spring, right before it flowers. 7. Japanese knotweed. And this is the one where I have to slow you down, because it is the most expensive mistake in this entire video. You will find articles telling you this plant is worth money, and they are not lying to you. The root is the main commercial source of resveratrol, the compound sold in supplement aisles everywhere, and there are genuinely buyers for it. Here is the honest truth, and I respect you too much to dress it up. If this is growing on your land, you have not found an asset. You have found a liability that will cost you thousands of dollars to be rid of, and possibly the sale of your house. It comes up through concrete. It regrows from a root fragment the size of your fingernail. It pushes several inches a day in spring, and the rhizomes run deep enough that cutting it back does nothing at all except spread it. Move the soil and you have planted it somewhere new. Nobody is going to pay you enough for the root to cover what removing it costs. Your test tonight. Look for hollow stems like bamboo, green with purple-red speckles, growing in dense stands. The leaves are broad and shovel-shaped, and they come off the stem in a zigzag rather than in pairs. Late summer it throws sprays of small cream flowers. If that is what you are looking at, do not cut it and do not dig it. Every cut fragment is a new plant, and a contractor with an excavator has started more infestations than any gardener. This is the one weed where finding out it is valuable should still ruin your week. But before we get to the top 5, there is something about all of this that most people never stop to realize. Nothing worth real money grows on your lawn. A lawn is mown, fed and sprayed, and the only plants that survive that treatment are the toughest and most common ones on the continent. Everything with value in it is in the shade at the back of the property, along the tree line, in the awkward strip you have never once put a mower over. That is where the money is, not in the grass, in the part you gave up on. Now, let us get back to the rankings. 6. Black cohosh. In early summer, it sends up a wand of small white flowers, 4 feet tall or more, glowing in the shade where nothing else is bothering to bloom. Underneath it sits a mound of jagged compound leaves. Country names for it are fairy candles and bugbane, and if you have hardwoods anywhere on your land, you have almost certainly walked past it. Here is what is underneath. There is a genuine root buying trade for this plant running across Appalachia, from the Carolinas west to Iowa and north into Minnesota, and it has operated for over a century. And here is the honest part. The money per pound is low. It takes roughly 3 pounds of fresh root to dry down to 1 pound, and the people making a living at this are moving volume, not single roots. Your test tonight. Look for the tall white spire in deep shade in June, then check the leaves for sharply toothed edges. And the loss. A patch dug out in one afternoon does not come back. Number 5. Ramps. For about 3 weeks in early spring, before the trees have leafed out and while the woodland floor still gets light, a carpet of broad, smooth green leaves comes up in the shade. Then it yellows, disappears completely, and by June there is no evidence it was ever there. Most people never register it at all. No one faults you for that. Tear a leaf and smell your fingers. Here is what that carpet is. ramps, wild leeks, allium trichocum, and they are the most sought-after wild food in the eastern United States. They sell for roughly $15 to $25 a pound at farmers markets in season. Restaurants build spring menus around them, and there are festivals in West Virginia and Tennessee that exist for no other reason. Your test tonight, and this is the one where I need you to pay attention. Crush a leaf. It must smell unmistakably of onion and garlic. There are two plants that come up in the same woods at the same time, with leaves close enough to fool people. Lily of the Valley and false hellebore are both seriously poisonous, and people are hospitalized every single spring after picking them by mistake. No onion smell means walk away. There is no second test. And the loss, which is the real reason I put this at number 5. Ramps take 5 to 7 years to grow from seed. People dig the bulbs, clear the patch in one afternoon, and a stand that took 2 decades to establish is finished permanently. Cut one leaf from each plant and leave the bulb in the ground. The patch feeds you every spring for the rest of your life. Number 4. Bloodroot. Very early in spring, before almost anything else has moved, a single white flower opens on the woodland floor with a curled gray-green leaf wrapped around its stem, like a hand holding a candle. It lasts a day or two. Then the leaf unfurls, the flower is gone, and you would never pick it out again. That instinct makes sense. Break the root and look at what comes out. The name is not decorative. Snap the rhizome and it bleeds a thick orange-red sap immediately, like something that should not be coming out of a plant. Native peoples used it as a dye. There is an established root buying trade for it running alongside the black cohosh trade through the same Appalachian buyers. Your test tonight. Look for the single-lobed leaf wrapped around a single stem, then scratch the rhizome just under the leaf litter. And I have to be direct with you about one thing. That sap is caustic. There is advice circulating online about using bloodroot as a black salve to burn things off skin, and it does exactly that. It destroys tissue indiscriminately, and it leaves people disfigured. Do not put it on your body. 3. Goldenseal. In the same rich shade, a low plant with 2 big raspberry-shaped leaves, deeply veined and hairy, and a single red berry cluster in summer that looks like a raspberry and is not edible. Scratch the rootstock. It is bright, almost startling yellow. That yellow root is the valuable one, worth considerably more per pound than the black cohosh growing beside it. Wild populations have been dug down hard enough that international trade in it is now controlled. Your test: 2 hairy-lobed leaves, 1 stem, a yellow root underneath. 2. American ginseng. In deep hardwood shade, well back from anything you mow, a plant about knee-high with leaves arranged in groups of 5, radiating from a single stem, and a tight cluster of bright red berries in late summer. Here are the real numbers, because this is the one that genuinely pays. Dried wild root runs around $500 a pound at buyers in southern Missouri, and up to about $1,200 a pound on the East Coast. Older, larger roots go well beyond that. Now here is the part that matters more than the price. Almost all of that value is age. The root thickens a fraction each year, and buyers read the neck of it like rings on a tree. A young root is worth a fraction of an old one, so digging early destroys the money before you ever get it to a buyer, which is exactly why this is regulated everywhere it grows. States set harvest seasons, set a minimum plant age, require you to replant the berries, and prohibit digging on most public land entirely. Prices spiking above $1,000 a pound, pulled in a wave of diggers who took roots before they were ready, and wild populations have not recovered from it. Your test tonight, and this is the only one you need. Count the prongs. 3 prongs means a plant old enough to have seeded. 2 means leave it alone and mark the spot. 1. And it is almost certainly growing in your lawn right now, and in your neighbors, and in every lawn on the street. The dandelion. Search whether backyard weeds are worth money, and this is the plant every article opens with. It is the most famous money weed on the internet. Here is the truth that turns this whole video around. Dried dandelion root sells for somewhere around $15 a pound, and a pound of dried root is an enormous number of dandelions, dug and washed and dried by hand. Fame is not value. The thing everyone recognizes is almost never the thing worth the most, because the whole world already has one. I will not inflate it for you. Your lawn is not a bank. But this is the reframe I have been walking you toward for 10 items. The money was never on the lawn. Everything worth anything tonight was standing in the shade at the back of the property, in the strip you gave up on years ago. So here is your final test, and it is the same one every item tonight was teaching. Before you pull anything, find out what it is. Because a weed is not a kind of plant. A weed is only a plant nobody has identified yet. Everything worth money tonight was common, unglamorous, and easy to tear out without a second thought. And every bit of it came down to knowing what you were holding. If this made you want to go and look properly at the back corner of your yard, do me one small thing and like the video. It tells me to keep making these. And if you are not subscribed, that is where the next one lives. Then tell me down in the comments, what is growing in the corner of your property that you have never once identified? I read every one. One last thing, and I mean it. Do not pull anything this weekend before you know what it is. Number 1 is in your lawn right now, and it is worth about what a bag of coffee costs. The good stuff is behind you, in the shade.